Okay, this is a much faster delivery this time for sure. um, so I read your notes a little bit, and kind of had an idea what was happening before I just clicked play. So that's always nice. I always appreciate that, just to kind of see what you're after and what's going on in your swing. And like I said, that helps me out a lot whenever I'm doing these analysis. So thanks for the nice feedback. That's nice to get. I'm glad you enjoyed it for sure and got a lot from it. So let's take those tips from this morning and get that in action for sure and work on that on the range. So like I always do, before I click record and start analyzing, I always go through just to see their swings and just kind of write down a game plan of what we're going to talk about in the video. And one thing I noticed is, of course, I brought up Charlie again. Yeah, your boy Charlie Hoffman. I wanted to show a few similarities and why you said um, that you hit your irons a little bit better. So just a quick little note and kind of a recap from this morning. You can see his shoulder um, uh, is at 46 degrees here. Ours is even. Oops, let me get this here. Ours is pretty good and pretty close to it. But the thing and why I'm drawing this and why I'm circling that right shoulder is you are staying down through these irons a little bit better. Now there's still a little bit of raise in our spine. Let me clear everything. Let me just start from the beginning here. Let me draw a line up through our spine, and let's just kind of hit this shot and kind of talk about it here. As we go up to the top, this all looks pretty good, but we start raising right here. I can show you from here to the top of the swing. Our spine changed from down, we're kind of in our posture here, to all of a sudden we're a little bit more vertical. All right, and that's not a fair line, but this one is. All right, we're already standing up a little bit in our backswing. All right, and that's just a spot of inconsistency there, and that's something that would be able to be practiced as well. Just holding that initial line. But anyway, let's keep going on. So we get up to the top, and I love this position here. I mean, if we can just get that spine down a little bit more to where we address it to about here. If I could just get you a little bit more athletic there to the second line. Let me just do a different color so it stands out. If I could just get you about there, everything else can stay the same, and you're going to play great golf. It's just this little bit of stand up here, causes a little bit of inconsistency here. But man, this is just such a good spot to be in. I'll compare you here, right here, to Charlie. I mean, look at this. Just to show you a little breakdown here. There's a nice triangle made with Charlie's top of the swing, of course. Look, we got the same triangle here. We've got the same one going on here. Right elbow tucked in. I mean, dude, this is great. Like I said, if we can just get that spine just a little bit more down, and why I chose Hoffman is just like I said, you guys have a very similar swing, and his is, and here's what I'm talking about here is he's just a little bit more bent over and athletic, ready to chase the ball. He is ready and preparing his body to chase the ball down, and his arms just kind of fit in that little gap perfect, and it allows him to rotate around much better than having to manipulate his spine by going up and down. He can just stay right in that position, and rotate around rather than come up and then try to come back down and match it back on. So, like I said, man, I really like the top of your swing. I'm going to kind of come down here to impact with Charlie. We're going to come down into impact with yours. All right, again, a lot of good similarities. See, I can see Charlie's left arm, left forearm. Same with yours. I can see your left forearm. His right elbow is bent just a hair, just a little bit. We've got that same kind of bend in yours, just a little bend. I mean, everything looks really good. One thing to add is I would work on rotating your hips a little bit more. Just to give you what I'm talking about here. Charlie's belt is pointing somewhere in this direction. Our belt is pointing somewhere, I'd say, in this direction. So just rotating those hips more out over here at impact. And let me try to rephrase that. So right now Charlie is pointing out here, and you are pointing right here. All right, how about right here? So we want to get to this red line, kind of where Charlie's at. All right, and we're the kind of blue line where we're at right now. All right, hopefully that made sense. It's kind of tough to say over the computer, but be sure to write this one down. Get that belt buckle turning out a little bit more like Charlie's. Ours is kind of out here. We want to end up over there. All right, but everything else looks pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how everything looks from there. Of course, like we talked about this morning, it's going to be easier to chase the ball down the line whenever you're a little bit more flexed. Let me get rid of this arrow. I want to just go back to the line. When you're a little bit more bent over from the waist, it's just it allows a little bit more room for that right shoulder to come down in this direction here. And let me show you what I'm talking about here. So there's all this room right in here. So it just getting a little bit more flexed just allows for that club just to bottom perfect, and it gives him so much more room to come right through, right down the line. Probably one of the best aids or swing thought ideas I've ever had and was ever taught when it comes to this type of thing is, I don't know if you've ever maybe shot a rifle or a shotgun, but you hold that shotgun up to your shoulder, all right, and you're pointing down the barrel, and you aim at a target. All right, so it's kind of the same thing with your golf swing. Picture, and you can even do this with any kind of club, like I'm doing it with a putter right now, just to help me demonstrate and talk while I'm doing it. But I'm pointing the putter. I've got the actual like club head up against my arm, like it's the butt of a shotgun, and I've got the shaft kind of like it's the barrel. All right, and I'm pointing it at the ball, but then I learned to chase the ball down the target line toward the target. All right, and that's the feeling that I want you to get whenever you're hitting these shots, and you can do this with a golf club, like I said, is to point at the ball and then chase it down the target line. And let me kind of illustrate here with Charlie. So this is him pointing his right shoulder down at the ball, and then watch this here. Let me draw a couple lines. This is his target here. He wants that shaft. If that shaft is against his arm, it's going to point here next, then here, then here, then here, as he comes down the line. I don't know if you can see that, or if that makes sense over the computer. If it doesn't, let me know, and I'll record a video of me doing this, or send you something. But I really, really like this tip. It's probably the best when it comes to teaching this for sure. Let's go on and go throughout your swing again. As till we get to follow through, our balance is much better. One thing I want you to work on as well is just getting all the way over onto that left foot. It looks like you're putting a little weight on that back foot there. That back foot is supposed to be just kind of a brace. It's not really meant for any weight. So you really want to get standing up tall on that plant leg here. Right now, I feel like our weight is kind of I'd say looks like 10 to 15% of your weight's on this back foot right here. Whereas Charlie, like I said, he's kind of using it as just a brace so he doesn't fall over, and all his weight is stacked up on his left foot. So just ensuring that your weight gets through the shot. All right, again, so just a recap of some things. I want you to continue to work on the setup. And like we talked about, I mean, obviously there's a reason why you said your irons are a little bit better. I feel like, you don't dip as hard, and you chase down the line a little bit better with your irons. They're a little bit shorter, so it's a little bit easier to get away with as well. But overall, your swing's solid. I mean, obviously, I can tell you're a solid player, and you can take some people's money. This the thing is, we're working on consistency, and these are some simple things to work on that's going to really improve your game over the course of however long we work together. Next lesson I would like to. I know you sent me like a driver one, but let's work on these things. Really hammer them home. Take some good notes, and let's work on a face-on one. I've got some things that I've got an idea on, but I'd really like to work on these first couple things first before we go into any more detail. It's not good on golfers to work on more than a couple things. So, like we talked about this morning, our setup first. Add a little bit more tilt, and or add a little bit of more bend from the waist, I should say, and then work on just chasing that shoulder down. I mean, it's kind of it's going to be a simple motion, but it's tough to just kind of get used to whenever you're not. It's just a new feeling. So, as far as your irons, it looks like everything looks awesome. We talked about the top of the swing being ideal. When we talked about how you do chase the shoulder a little bit more with the irons, because I believe they are a little bit shorter. But like I said, again, these are just some things to work on. I look forward to seeing your future videos and your progress, and hopefully hear some good positive stories about how well it went. Just don't be frustrated if it doesn't work out on the first 5 balls. Just kind of stick with it. Review your notes. Have a game plan going in whenever you start hitting some balls, and just give it a shot. Like I said, you're not going to go out there and be all of a sudden be Tiger Woods. It's going to take a few swings to really adjust your body and teach your body what you're trying to do and the correct way to do it. So just stick with it. You're going to see a straighter ball flight after it, and like I said, I'm excited for you. You've got game. You've got a solid swing. So like I said, just stick with it, and I look forward to working with you again. Once again, thanks for choosing me, and hopefully you have a great rest of your day.